Welcome to the other episode of Talk with EMAS. In this special episode, we are going to share about favorite methods in speaking class for young learners with me, Desinta and Miss Cindy. Hi Miss Cindy, how are you doing?
Hi Miss Desinta, I'm great today. Thanks for having me in your podcast.
You're very welcome, Miss Cindy. Okay, for someone who has just listened to this episode, I have very short explanation about our program. English Massive is a free English course program for all Kediri citizens provided by Kediri City Government. Okay, without any further ado, let's start this podcast.
English Massive Podcast, Talk with EMAS.
Well, Miss Cindy, as an English Massive tutor, both of us know that our program is focusing on speaking skills, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, by the way, what is your favorite method to teach speaking to your young learner participants?
Okay, so it's only focused on young learners, yeah, Miss?
Yes, young learners only.
It's sometimes tricky when we need to teach young learners.
Yes, you're right, because they are still young.
Yeah, we have less control in them sometimes because they are very unpredictable. But some of my favorite activities for speaking, it depends on what stage that we are teaching them. Like for example, for the introduction, after the introduction of the vocabulary and maybe expression, my favorite is drilling, like the traditional drilling, but I usually try to ask them the questions and they will answer the questions, or sometimes I will say it in Indonesia and they must say it in English. That's the introduction. But for the review or like the practice, the real practice, my favorite speaking method is class survey.
Okay.
Class survey, and also how do you say this? Like I prepare a card, and then inside of the cards there will be like some questions or some topic that they will need to talk. So I prepared like maybe 50 or 20 cards, and they need to pick it.
Oh yeah, I actually don't know what is that
Yeah,
called,
I don't know.
but yeah, I did it.
Yeah, you did it
sometimes.
too.
Yeah, in my class. That's very fun, right?
Yeah, that's very fun. Like they are very enthusiastic to take the cards and like to see what's inside the card.
Yeah. Okay.
And what about you, Miss?
Okay, for me, for teaching speaking, of course, we need to teach about vocabulary first, Miss Cindy.
Yeah.
For myself, I prefer doing drilling by using gesture or using pictures to teach some words, to introduce some words to them, and then I can teach the expression used. At least I usually give the picture to them so they can learn while practicing speaking with their friends. Okay, like student-centered.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, the next question is, why do you like that method, Miss Cindy?
Well, for the first part, the drilling method, I do like it because it is effective for a large quantities of participants. No matter how small or big your classes is, like a drilling is, I think is effective. Like to make sure that your participant can say the words or the expression correctly and also understand about the meaning or the definition of that expression. And for the what's my other activity? Oh, the mingle or the class survey. The class survey one, I do like it because it gives participants more time to try to practice their speaking skills.
Okay,
yeah.
I do agree with you.
Yeah, because as we know, like when they are in the school or in their home, maybe they don't have that much time to practice their English, right?
Yep.
So in English Massive, I think it's the perfect time for them to be able to practice their speaking skills.
Yes, you are right, Miss Cindy. And it can train their confidence to speak English.
That's correct, yeah. And it's their time to talk. Like enough of us teachers speaking. It's their time to talk. Yeah.
We can talk much.
Yeah. I do agree with that.
Okay.
And what about you, Miss?
Okay. I think the participants are easier to memorize vocabulary while doing gesture or picture, Miss Cindy, because practicing with their friend, like you said before, makes them feel happy while learning English. So they can like really learning, but they can play in that activity. Okay, the last question, Miss Cindy, how do you apply it in your speaking class?
Okay, so for the drilling parts, I already mentioned some of them before in the first session, but I adapt it from the traditional drilling method, where we going to ask them questions and they will answer it, or we can use this activity called it has a lot of names, like a snowball games or hot balls or hot potato. Yeah, it has a lot of names, but it goes the same, where we throw the balls to the participants and they will, whoever got the ball will need to answer the questions or translate the definition of the words, and they need to transfer the balls to the other friends. So I think that's fun. And for the class survey, it's like a mingled activity. So I will give them like a card, like a guidance card, or where they need to fill in some information from their friends. I also sometimes provide some, how to say that, outline for them. So like example 2, for example, like this is how you will ask question and this is how you will answer the question, so they can ask and also answer the questions that they will get from their friends.
That's nice, Miss Cindy. Okay, for me, I prefer asking them to stand up at first, like make a circle or something, and then they do drilling by using gesture and show them the pictures. They can make a sentence from the picture like that, and after that I usually make a groups of pairs for the participants, so they can practice speaking more and more speaking in my classes, of course.
And maybe it's my turn to ask you some questions, Miss.
It's very fine.
I was curious, like where you have some difficulties while applying those methods when you are teaching your participants.
Okay, that's good, Miss Cindy. Actually, because we are teaching young learners, so we are dealing with the kiddos, and it's very difficult to me sometimes to make them listen to my
your instruction.
My instruction, and sometimes because our mother tongue is not English, so we are not really understand. Sometimes I need to translate my instruction
and
into Indonesian
for the many times
over and over again. That's I think my difficulties to apply that method in my classes. What about you? What is your difficulties, Miss Cindy?
Well, basically same. Like giving instruction for children is always hard. I always try to make it short, like the instruction short, and try to make maybe addition like a gesture, so they can remember it correctly. But my difficulties is when maybe I found it when it is class survey. So sometimes they sneak out like and try to use English with their friends. Not try to use English with their friends.
You use Indonesian, right?
Like for example, nama. Something like that.
You are correct.
It sometimes happen. We have to keep an eye and keep an ear for them. So maybe it's only 1 or 2 participants. But when we let them go, like when we do not tell them, everyone will copy that because it's children.
You are correct, Miss Cindy.
So we need to tell them like, no, you need to use English in this activity as much as you can. Something like
you need to do it by yourself, right?
That's true.
Okay, well, Miss Cindy, I think that's all about our favorite methods in speaking classes. And what's your favorite teaching method in your speaking class, guys? Okay, thank you, Miss Cindy, and thank you for listening our podcast. See you at the next podcast. Bye-bye.